Hello again. In the Matrix film, Neo awakens to discover that the humans were mentally enslaved by soulless beings masquerading themselves as being the highest evolved humans. Moreover, that these soulless beings were the programmers of everything that the true humans believed. These soulless beings kept the humans trapped within a perpetual state of mental enslavement because it allowed them to exploit them without resistance. The white oppressors often reveal through movies what they've done to black people. Some describe this practice as being a form of ritual mocking of the victim, but it's actually a practice that allows the oppressors to avoid the law of karma, called revelation of the method. There are hidden rules and principles within the warfare of domination that must be adhered to. The oppressors must make their oppressive tactics available to the oppressed. They therefore often embed them within movies and TV shows, and even in books. Because the oppressive tactics have been made available, when the oppressed do not act upon their knowledge, by default they've given their oppressors permission to oppress and rule over them. It's a social contract that allows the oppressors to avoid the law of karma. However, that's not the subject what I'm about to talk to right now. I'm instead going to talk about how the Matrix film has actually distorted the minds of many from seeing and understanding what the real Matrix truly is. The film's cool and hyper-stylish science fiction depiction of the Matrix has caused the minds of many to become lost within the realm of science fiction and fantasy. The real Matrix is not science fiction at all. The real Matrix is the false illusory worldview grafted upon us from birth through the white society's false self-serving narratives that they've imposed upon us, thus causing us to our collective minds to perceive a false version of reality that exalts themselves and marginalizes us. This is all possible because public perception is not shaped based upon facts nor reality. It's actually shaped by the narratives that are repetitively fed into society. Therefore, the basic tool required for distortion of reality is to merely feed forth false narrative into society. The public at large will then function based upon those false narratives rather than the true reality. This is precisely what white social scientists and white propagandists have done. Because they control all of the societal narratives, they therefore literally owns the perception of reality. They've exploited this immense position of power by systematically feeding false narratives into the society to create false perception that serves and protects the system of white supremacy. We are not functioning based upon reality. We're instead functioning based upon the white society's false narratives. Proof of this fact is made evident by the story of Adam and Eve. Many believe that Adam and Eve were the first humans. However, according to biblical experts that use detailed family trees in the Bible to make their calculation, Adam and Eve lived about 6,000 to 8,000 years ago. However, carbon date testing performed upon Africa's Great Sphinx has scientifically proven that it's more than 50,000 years old, thus proving that Adam and Eve were not the first people on Earth. Furthermore, in South Africa, there was unearthed ancient bones belonging to at least 15 individuals. These bodies are estimated at being between 20,000 years old to 1,000,000 years old. There was also the remains called Lucy found in Ethiopia, estimated at being over 3 million years old. These findings prove that Adam and Eve's story is untrue. The Adam and Eve story has also been used to subjugate women to being an inherent subordinate sex. It achieved this by the story that the first woman was created after a man was, from the rib of a man, at the request of a man, and to be subordinate to a man. However, the reality is that no woman has ever come from the body of a man, but all men came from the body of a woman. The ancient bodies discovered of women older than the fictional timeline of Eve also proves that she was not the first woman. It's a work of fiction. Many people also believe that the Jews built the pyramid. However, carbon date testings have scientifically proven that the ancient kingdom was built by Africans thousands of years long before the biblical timeline of when Shem was supposedly born, the first Jew, thus making it impossible that any Jews built the pyramids. We are all functioning based upon the false narratives from the white society that serve their agendas. Here's another fact that proves this point. Although it's a fact that Caucasians share more physical characteristics with Neanderthals of Europe than they presently do with we Africans, they condition us and the world to ignore this fact, and they instead depict themselves as being the highest evolved African Homo sapiens that turned white due to migrating to the colder climate of Europe, an alleged form of cold weather mutational albinism. However, it's been scientifically proven by DNA analysis that Caucasians are not African albinos, but have instead inherited their skin color and their animalistic hair type from Neanderthal DNA. It's also been scientifically proven that we Africans are the true Homo sapiens. Our melanated, chocolate-colored skin color and black woolly hair are the direct result of Homo sapien DNA. Africans are not even included within the Caucasian Darwin evolutionary charts. Unlike Caucasians who evolved from primates, we Africans were always Homo sapiens. The Caucasians separated themselves from their Neanderthal ancestors and falsely attached themselves onto we Africans in order to give themselves a Homo sapien origin. Now, this might be a bit of a disappointment to those of you that favors the premise that all life originated in Africa and spread from there. However, the story that Caucasians are African albinos has totally fallen apart by science. And finally, here's another example of false white narratives that millions have been manipulated to function based upon as being their reality. Most people are presently functioning based upon the perception that Caucasians are responsible for most inventions that have revolutionized the world. Moreover, that black people are the leeches of society that haven't invented much throughout history. We therefore benefit from the great minds of Caucasians. This perception greatly aids the white society in maintaining their social dominance over black people. However, the hidden reality is that in spite of cultural traumas wrought by the injustices of white racism and slavery, most inventions that revolutionized the world were, in fact, either invented by black people or were directly inspired by early inventions by black people. Without black people, there would exist no internet, no cell phones, emails, GPS, motorized vehicles, helicopter, traffic lights, 3D movies, working light bulbs, elevators, therefore no skyscrapers. No home security surveillance systems, no home game consoles, no air conditioning, no central heating, no refrigerator trucks, no refrigerators, no washing machine, no dryers, no lawnmower, no blood banks. We wouldn't have the accurate weather forecasting system, fiber optics, no digital technology, etc., etc., etc. When a well-packaged web of lies has been sold gradually to the masses over generations, the truth will seem utterly preposterous and its speaker a raving lunatic. Preston James said that, and it is so true. We are functioning based upon lies. All societies function based upon narratives. And the ruling class often create narratives that they impose upon the society so that the masses will function in ways that benefits the ruling class. This dates back to in ancient Europe. The kings would instruct the priests in the church to teach, to tell the people that it was if they were to ever cause harm against a royal family member or even to speak negatively of a royal family member, they would end up in hell. They'll be burned in hell. So the priests would start teaching that to the masses, and the masses, when the masses followed it, it gave the ruling class greater power over them. This tactic of imposing narratives that shapes the masses in ways that benefits the ruling class has not changed. The white ruling class feeds many disinformation into society so that the society will function in ways that serve and protect the system of white supremacy. In order for us to liberate ourselves, we must learn this social science. We must learn the social science so we can develop ways to overcome it. We are functioning based upon a distorted version of reality created by false white exalting black marginalizing narrative and fed into our minds. As long as white people are controlling narratives, they'll always feed us lies that serve themselves, serves their interests, and it's against our interests. It's the people they are. It's the way they've always been, and it's the only way they know how to be. But we have to elevate our minds to understand how it works so we can develop proper strategies against it. One love and peace.